Hello everyone, I'm Zhiyuan Peng, currently a graduate student from Beijing University of Post and Telecommunications. Today I'm excited to present our work about Eclipse attacks on Monero's peer-to-peer network. Monero is known for its strong privacy features, but like any decentralized network, its peer-to-peer layer remains a potential attack surface. In this work, we analyze how Eclipse attacks can be launched against Monero nodes. Before diving into the details, I'd like to start with a quick introduction on both Eclipse attacks and Monero. Eclipse attack is a technique used to isolate a target node from the network by occupying all its connections. Once this happens, the attacker can launch more serious attacks, such as selfish mining, tracing the node's originating transactions, or disrupting the consensus mechanism. Monero is a privacy-focused cryptocurrency. One of its key defenses at the network layer is Dandelion protocol, which is designed to prevent attackers from analyzing the originating node of the transaction. Our motivation is to explore the feasibility of Eclipse attacks in the Monero network. So we propose the connection reset attack method, which makes the Eclipse attack feasible in Monero. Let's first discuss existing Eclipse attack methods. Existing methods can be divided into two parts, targeting outgoing connections and incoming connections separately. The occupation of outgoing connections mainly relies on filling the node's peer list and waiting for the node to restart to trigger the occupation process. And the occupation of incoming connections depends on the node's connection eviction strategy. Taking Bitcoin as an example, when the number of incoming connections reaches its maximum limit, the node follows a certain strategy to decide whether to disconnect an existing incoming connection to accept a new one. However, existing methods have some limitations, making traditional Eclipse attack methods inapplicable to the Monero network. First, for the occupation of outgoing connections, since it requires filling the node's peer list and waiting for the node to restart to trigger the occupation process, the attack is uncontrollable and time-consuming. As for the occupation of incoming connections, Monero does not have a connection eviction strategy and has no default limit on incoming connections, making the existing methods completely ineffective in Monero. The 2 points mentioned above are also the main challenges our work faces. For nodes with low limit on incoming connections and no connection eviction strategy, connections do not interfere with each other. The uncertainty in occupying outgoing connections also renders the existing methods impractical. The key issue with these challenges is that the attacker has no control over benign connections and can only rely on uncontrollable events such as node restarts to disconnect a node's connections. And this is why our connection reset attack was introduced. Before introducing our method, let's first briefly discuss the Monero network. Regarding peer list management, Monero's peer list consists of a white list and a gray list. During operation, a Monero node selects peers from either the white list or gray list based on certain rules. Regarding the choice of transaction propagation protocol, Monero uses the Dandelion protocol, which we'll introduce later. Regarding connection management, Monero employs an anti-DOS mechanism. When the node receives a double spending transaction, it will proactively disconnect from the node that sent the transaction. This is one of the key aspects exploited by our connection reset attack. Our core idea is the connection reset attack, which exploits Monero's transaction propagation characteristics to create double spending conflicts between the target node and its neighboring nodes, thereby disconnecting the target node's benign connections. So let's first take a look at the overview of our Eclipse attack. Our attack consists of the two parts, peer list attack and the connection reset attack. The primary goal of the peer list attack is to fill the peer list is to prepare for occupying outgoing connections, ensuring that the target node can only select the malicious node from its peer list. Our peer list attack consists of the gray list attack and the white list attack. And for connection occupation, we do not require the node to restart. Instead, we trigger it using the transaction reset attack. The gray list attack exploits Monero's timed sync process. In Monero, the timed sync process enables periodically exchanging whitelist node information between connected peers, and those information will be added to their gray list without checking connectivity. By leveraging the timed sync process, we can establish a connection with the target node and modify the node information in our response. This allows us to inject invalid node records into the target's gray list. The whitelist attack is achieved by simultaneously controlling a large number of malicious nodes to perform handshakes with the target node. This works because the target node will add the incoming connections node to the whitelist after a successful handshake. By exploiting this mechanism, we can fail the target node's whitelist simply through continuous handshakes. Next, we move on the core part of the attack, connection reset attack. The connection reset attack is a connection control method that allows the attacker to force the target node to disconnect from benign nodes. This results in two consequences. The first one is the number of outgoing connection of the target node decreases, causing it to select new peers from the whitelist and the gray list to re-establish outgoing connections. At this point, the whitelist contains only malicious node records, while the gray list is filled with invalid node records. As a result, the target node can only establish outgoing connections with malicious node from the whitelist. The second consequence is that the target node disconnects from benign incoming connections, which provides a way for the attacker to prevent the establishment of new benign incoming connections, ultimately making Eclipse attack on Monero node feasible. Our connection reset attack exploits the flaw in Monero's connection management mechanism, specifically the fact that a network layer double-spending transaction conflict can cause connections to be dropped. Based on this, we propose two specific connection reset attack methods, which cause connection reset attack based on the private transaction and based on the Dandelion protocol separately. The connection reset attack based on the private transaction is only applicable to nodes that have RPC services enabled. Monero node provides a RPC method for private transaction service, allowing users to send transactions to node without forwarding them. Leveraging this feature, we can easily create a double-spending conflict between the target node and its neighbors. The attacker proceeds as follows. First, we inject a private transaction TX1 into the target node and then broadcast another transaction TX2, which conflicts with TX1 due to a double spending. After that, transaction TX2 propagates throughout the Monero network and eventually reaches the target node throughout its neighbors. Since the target node has already received TX1, so it will reject TX2 and disconnect from its neighbors. So that is the first connection reset attack. Next, we present the second instance of the connection reset attack. As mentioned earlier, the Monero network uses the Dandelion protocol to propagate the transactions. Under the Dandelion protocol, transaction propagation is divided into two phases, the stem phases and the fluff phases. In the stem phases, the transaction originates from the source node and is propagated in a hoop-by-hoop manner across the network, following a random secret path until it finds a proxy node to broadcast the transaction. And after that, the transaction turns into fluff phase, and the proxy node broadcasts the transaction, and the subsequent nodes that receive the transaction will also broadcast it. So compared to the transaction in the stem phase, transactions in the fluff phase generally have faster propagation speed. By exploiting the differences in the propagation speed between the stem transaction and fluff transaction, we designed the second instance of the connection reset attack. Similarly, we generate two conflicting double-spending transactions, TX1 and TX2, and set TX1 in the stem phase and TX2 in the fluff phase. First, we send TX1 to the target node directly via node connection and immediately broadcast TX2 to the entire network. Since TX1 starts in the stem phase, it will propagate in a hoop-by-hoop manner across the network, unlike TX2, which propagates rapidly across the entire network. As a result, most nodes in the network will receive TX2 first, while only a few nodes will receive TX1 first. And for the target node neighbors, some of them will receive TX2 first, while others receive TX1 first. Thus, those neighbors who first receive TX2 will send TX2 to the target, which will cause the connection between the target and them to be dropped. So this is the second connection reset attack. Okay, let's see our experiment. We conducted complete Eclipse attack experiments on our controllable target node in the Monero mainnet. Besides evaluating whether the Eclipse attack can successfully occupy all connections of the target node, we also evaluate the effectiveness of each individual sub-attack. First, we present the experimental results of the Eclipse attack experiments using the connection reset attack based on the Dandelion protocol. As shown in the table, we conducted 10 attack experiments with an average computation time of 156 seconds. Compared to the existing Eclipse attack method, our attack is highly efficient. To provide a clear understanding of the Eclipse attack, we detailed one Eclipse attack experiment. During this attack, how the number of each kind of connection change over time is illustrated in the feature. During the attack, the grayless attack and whiteless attack played effective roles in occupying outgoing connections. Throughout the attack, and connection reset attacks were executed. The continuous eviction of benign connections ultimately lead to the success of our Eclipse attack. Next are the results of the Eclipse attack experiments using the connection reset attack based on private transaction. Despite the difference in the performance, there is no fundamental distinguish within the two types of attack. Both effectively achieve complete occupation of all the target's node connections. Here are some countermeasures for this attack. Our measures primarily target the three sub-attacks. We have also analyzed the potential negative impacts these measures might bring. To summarize, in this work, we present the first Eclipse attack against Monero, and we present the new attack vector, the connection reset attack. Based on this, we designed two instances of connection reset attack. Also, we implement and evaluate our Eclipse attack on Monero mainnet, and the experimental results prove its effectiveness. We also provide countermeasures that can mitigate our Eclipse attack and examine their potential negative effects. Thank you for your attention, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Hearts. We have one of the authors online. I think Ji-Wan Peng. Is he online? Yeah. Oh, he's there. Okay. So, do you have any questions for him? We have time for a few questions. Okay. I can get started with one question. Certainly, this is not the first Eclipse attack, and there have been a lot of Eclipse attacks on other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. For instance, from CCS a couple of years ago, there was the sync attack and other works. So can you comment about why do we need another? Well, certainly we need another Eclipse attack on different networks. But do those attacks apply to Monero? Or, in other words, I think you're an expert in your own work. So does your work generalize beyond the Monero network? Does it work for other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin? I think you are muted.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. We made this attack because previous Eclipse attack on Bitcoins or Ethereum is not applicable to Monero. As we said in the video, Monero attack do not have connection eviction strategy, and the transaction propagation protocol is a little bit different with Monero. Based on this, the previous Eclipse attack method is not applicable to Monero. So we research on the transaction propagation strategy used on Monero and other mechanism in Monero. So we proposed a new Eclipse attack.
Would the same kind of thought generalize to other networks like Bitcoin, for example? Because we know that the propagation characteristics, synchronization, and distribution of Bitcoin is also as biased as that of Monero.
Oh yeah. Okay. We have not make research on other cryptocurrency yet. But as far as I know, the Bitcoin now is still use diffusion as a transaction propagation protocol.
That's correct. Yeah.
Under this protocol, our work may not be functional, and moreover, Bitcoins do not have the features as I said in the video which means the double spending transaction will make the connection to be dropped. This is also an important
Okay.
feature.
Final.
Or
Do
feature,
you have other questions from the audience? None. I have a final question. So all of your tech analysis is in simulation, but can you give us like a back of envelope calculation of how much would be the cost of running that tech in the real life?
The cost is most depends on the IP resources the attacker have, and beside and except this, there's no other cost. The cost to conduct connection reset attack is very low.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. Thank you. Yes, thanks, speaker. Go ahead. Do you have a question?
I have no more questions.
Quick question from my side. So you said that your attack will not work on Bitcoin because of partly their gossip protocol, kind of that they use diffusion. So does it mean that if we adjust the gossip, I would say the badly designed gossip protocol of Monero, then this would fix the problem?
Maybe, but I'm not sure is if is a good idea. As I know, Monero use Dandelion because the current diffusion protocol has some security problem.
Thanks.
All right, so we are exactly on time, and I want to let you go for the break. So let's thank the speaker, and I would like to thank all the speakers here. Thank you so much.